Good morning, everybody. This is chapter 1 of this man's story of corruption, abuse, gender favoritism in the children's family courtroom. A story that the public needs to be aware of. This is the chapter 1, the beginning. Was the gateway to the heavens? Or was it being struck down into the fiery trenches of hell? He met her on a dating app. He was very clear on what he was looking for in life and out of a partner. He wasn't in the state of his life where he wanted just to waste his life with meaningless times. She sucked him in with knowing what he wanted in life. And like a good actress, she played a good role on trying to show him that she can give him what he wanted. During this time, he felt great. Like most relationships, when you start seeing somebody and dating somebody, the first few months they can seem pretty amazing. So that's what he thought. Thought things were going great. He lived in a city about 45 minutes outside of her. She would come in to his work. She would come see him at work, bring him coffees, bring him drinks, bring him and the crew drinks and coffees, and she'd bring him lunch or something, like she made the effort that she was the real deal. Or at least she wanted him to think she was. Soon, these actions would dwindle, but not until she was able to get him fully in her grasp. So, for first few months, he was seeing all the sides of her that she wanted him to see. He was seeing the sides of her that truthfully did have compassion. He was seeing the sides of her that showed and made him feel that she could have been his soulmate, his forever, the one he searched for forever, the one that could finally love him and care for him and treat him the way he deserved and the way he has always treated his previous partners and just never seen in return, never knew in return. Because things were going so well, she was able to escape daily or as much as possible into her life again. That a life that he knew didn't exist. It was hard for him to believe it existed when he found out and started seeing. So he only got to see what the good that she wanted him to see, to trap him. He thought he found his everything. She would constantly use her manipulation to pull him in deeper and deeper to her grasp. He was naive, he was desperate, and he wanted to believe. So he would ask her things, you know, are you sure you don't want no money for all these coffees for the crew members in him? You know, it's not cheap. She would say, no, I got this, I got money. He would ask her things, what do you do for a living? How do you make your money? Because he's just a simple furniture mover. You know, he's nothing special. He doesn't have no high paying job. He's a furniture mover. She would proceed to tell him she owns her own cleaning company and she's doing good on that so far. And then at the time, she had two other kids, or has two other kids by two previous fathers. So with child support and the monthly child money she makes, and she was getting by. Well, these are things she wanted him to know. And then she did it. She finally talked him into moving in with her. Picking up his whole life, relocate jobs. He had a beautiful home, beautiful property, relocate his home. Like, this guy had a pool table in his driveway, swimming pool in the backyard, a shed for a rec room and exercise room, and he had a beautiful house. And she refused to move in with him. So he understood. Okay. He thought she was the soulmate. He thought she was the person she was claiming to be. And part of the desperation he was in, I think, and part of him being naive, didn't want to look past red flags and ask more questions about, you know, the reasoning for the previous fathers of her children and why they separated. And she did it. She got him to agree to move in with her instead of her moving in with him. And it took him almost a year of hard work, rearranging his whole life, picking up everything and moving it to a whole new environment. He knows nobody, no friends, no family, no nothing. And then he starts noticing little things that started becoming big things. So he would get pointed out by his friends when she would come over with her two previous children, who were roughly around 3 and 5 at the time. She would, and I have a son, and he was there. He had a son from a previous relationship, and he'd be there. And he would notice his son and her son's little issues with them bullying his son and her allowing it. And then he would start noticing her hands-on methods with her children. He would start noticing her calmness was a ruse. It was a lie. It was a fake. Because behind the real closed doors, she was chaotic. She was abusive. And she knew how to get him trapped. She knew how to trap him in without him having much opportunity to get out. It turned out she's done this before. She would do things for him. She knew he loved being outdoors and camping and all that stuff, and she would make sure that they'd be able to go out and they'd go camping, or she'd make sure that he was being drugged in deeper and deeper. Take him for hikes and walks and do things that she knew would really get to his soul, for hopes of him looking past the dark side of her. And she blinded him. She blinded him for quite a while before he actually started realizing and asking questions. But it's easy to blind somebody that's desperate enough that will just be with anybody. And he was desperate enough, he would just be with anybody at that time. He didn't know what he was worth. He didn't know his value. He didn't know what he brought to the table. He didn't know himself. All he knew was he just wanted to feel the emotion that he's always given out. He wanted to feel in return. He wanted to feel love. He wanted to feel compassion. He wanted to feel like somebody would do anything for him, like he has done and always would for anybody else. Things started going from great and him being very happy and comfortable to him finding out things little by little. Like domestic abuse between her other children's father and her other children's fathers and her abusive nature. And one of the biggest things when he moved in, when she finally got to move in, was he found out she didn't run her own cleaning company that was successful. She would just go out cleaning random men's places. She was on welfare, and was on welfare for years. So when he moved in, he told her, I can't allow you, kind of deal. He says that to be on welfare, like his tax paying dollars, all that. He worked hard, he couldn't allow her to be on welfare. So he talked to her worker and kind of deal, and she was off welfare. He, at that point on, it was upon him to pay the bills because she wouldn't. And he started noticing little by little how this happy life that he thought he was getting and that he signed in for, and how this woman that he thought was so loving and compassionate, he started finding out the truth and seeing the true her, the serial abuser, the violence, the chaos, the pure happy energy when she's creating dark drama. And things would get worse from there. Things were not as happy as he wanted them or thought they were going to be. And he felt trapped. And he didn't know what to do. There was many times he would try to stay at work 2, 3, 4 hours later just because he was not happy going back home. He was not happy with her anymore. He was seeing the real her, the violent her, the abusive her. And it's not what he signed on for. This man's a great dad, a great man, a positive man, always trying to smile, always trying to do things for others. He became a licensed reverend because he does enjoy helping other people. And now he's at that point, he's stuck in in an abusive relationship that he didn't see coming. His life would start to darken. Coming next week, chapter 2, the middle. The realization of what he got himself really into. The realization of the life he was feeling trapped in. In chapter 2, he sees the face of the devil and begins a battle with the face of the devil. Good versus evil. But he didn't know it. He didn't know a lot of her secrets still. But he starts finding them out in chapter 2.